Derek, it is August. And
Already.
And if you thought January through July was, buckle up, Buttercup.
You know what I just thought of when you said August? I think of Back to School. And then I think about Billy Madison. Back to school.
My shoes tight. Hope I don't.
Let's go play some dodgeball. Awesome. Well, hey, Chamber Chatter. Got another episode.
Yep.
It's awesome. We've been pretty busy. Hey, so we just started Chamber Downtown.
Yes, we did.
And I know you and Heather had a big day. I was out of the office that day, but tell us a little bit about Chamber Downtown and how that went. Obviously, our mission was, to be accessible to our members. So we just wanted a staff member to be in downtown Kearney, hanging out with our members down there. How did everything go?
I mean, honestly, I almost broke up with you via text.
I'm never coming back.
I'm not going back in that little box with wire on my windows.
At least it's not bars. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not holding you hostage here.
Yeah, it's not jail. It's just a detention center. No, it was great. Anytime we can get out, our job is not in these four walls. It's with our members and to serve our members. And definitely proof of concept of the idea was had. We have several members that office out in S-Space, and simply because we were there and available, it spawned some questions like, oh, I've often wondered about this marketing opportunity or that, and he's right there. I might as well go walk over and have the conversation. And so, it definitely worked day one. So,
right. And I think the beauty of it, I was talking with you and Heather a little bit too, is you guys were able to learn a lot about businesses and go visit those businesses too. We've got the organic part of, hey, tell me more about the chamber, or tell me more about marketing, but you guys were able to learn more about it. And that's where advocacy efforts come in, right? That's where the more we know about those businesses, the more we can advocate for them and when it comes to referrals or whatever it might be. So.
Right. And sometimes, we are also busy, and there is this huge push and focus for efficiency. Got to efficient. Sometimes what matters is it's just to slow down and be present, right? And be there and available. And that will trump efficiency all day.
Yeah. I just saw a quote just the other day, and I was using it in my blog. It was something about it was Gary Vee. So it was something that revolved around ambition, and when you have ambition, you can actually slow down, and it's okay to then slow down with your big ideas. And me being a big idea guy, I like to move fast. It's a good reminder to me to say, okay, hey, these big ideas, now I can take more time and slow down with the big ideas. But yeah, I think I love it. I'm glad that our chamber members, were able to get in touch with us. So, and if you weren't, and you're listening to this podcast, definitely the first Monday of the month, we'll be down at S-Space in the mornings. And
Wednesday.
Yeah, sorry. First Wednesday. Yes. First Wednesday of the month.
Wednesday.
But yeah, reach out to us and, get a time to meet with our chamber teammates down there. And it's great. So speaking of just like downtown, we've got lots of good eats and drinks downtown.
Yes.
And Taste Kearney is coming up, and Riley has been fast and furious working on Taste Kearney is this your third year?
It's third year.
Working on Taste Kearney?
Yep. I don't really think we can count year one because I started August 1st, which means I had just a little over 30 days to knock her out. But.
Hey, we do restaurant week. Go.
So I always like to have a minimum of 2 months to promote an event. And so this year now is I feel like I'm finally fully settled in. I had all the participants pretty much together by the 1st of August, just a few days ago, and we'll be rolling that out here very soon.
Right. Fire is our top sponsor, presenting sponsor, whatever you want to call them. So thanks to the guys at Fire. And then we've got some non-restaurant sponsors too that
and there's several, and I'll put the graphic up on the screen, so if I don't recall it right now, but
cue graphic.
But yeah, there's several great ones. They're all great, right? But Gosh, now I've talked so long that I don't remember any of them.
Don't name them because
Yeah,
if you
right.
don't name them all, right? No, yeah, we'll get the graphic up, but we appreciate obviously all of our sponsors. We couldn't do Restaurant Week without them, and obviously we can't do it without our amazing restaurants and bars and everything in between. I think what's cool about Restaurant Week is my wife and I don't cook a whole lot that week.
Right.
So yeah, get out of the house and go visit our restaurants and all of our amazing establishments. So this will be a great week. I can't wait. There's always some special menu items and special beverages that are that our restaurants showcase. So it's going to be super exciting. But speaking of sponsors, we want to thank our sponsors of Chamber Chatter. So we've got Fast Forward and UNK Athletics. So thanks to them.
Electric utilities use Fast Forward to reduce power outages and wildfires with vehicle-mounted camera technology. Their technology can inspect over 5,000 poles a day, helping utilities implement without increasing rates to the consumer.
Fast Forward.
We're driven by a common goal. Knowing your success is our success. That's the power of the herd. Learn more at unk.edu.
Hey, so shout out to UNK Back to School. I'm wearing my Loper shirt today, actually. Nice. Wife and I are getting ready to go to the zoo with the family, but I thought, I'll don some UNK apparel in Omaha. And I know UNK, a lot of their fall athletics started, I think they started a week ago, actually. So they're getting ready to get back to school, but athletics are in full swing. So thanks to Dr. Bauer there, and UNK Athletics, and obviously Dusty. He was our first sponsor of Chamber Chatter and stepped up to the plate. And he continues to do amazing things. So thanks to that. But we've got a guest today.
We do,
and I feel like it's always fun to, again, what we talked about earlier with Chamber Downtown is learn more about businesses,
right?
And so. Yeah, we've got Hamilton here with us today.
Adam, how's it going this morning?
It's good. It's good to be with you guys.
Well, Adam, thanks for joining us. Adam, tell us a little bit about maybe your role, and then we'll kind of dive into some of the things Hamilton does.
Yeah, my official title is I'm an account executive with Hamilton, and really what that means is we do so many different things in the technology space. So when you call and
sounds
say,
like working for the chamber, right? I do all kinds of things.
It's like, what do you need? So we kind of need to drill down into it a little bit. So when people call and they say, hey, I'm thinking about this or that, my job is really to come and not talk, but listen to what they need. What are their challenges? What are the problems that they're trying to solve? And do we have solutions through our different technologies, all the things that we offer to help them solve that problem? And just because of the sheer amount of things that we do, we typically have some way to help them solve that. So I think of myself kind of more as an educator and a guide, educating people on what's out there to solve these problems and then guiding them through the Hamilton services and the people, kind of a little bit of project manager, a little bit as well, to get them to that solution if they decide to move forward with us.
Nice. I think, so what would be, it's kind of crazy because a lot of things you said was like, the answer is yes. Mm-hmm. What do you need?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I love that. But what's maybe the hot topic now? Is it cybersecurity? We just had that threat, and me being on the MPPD board, mm-hmm. I got the emails right away in the morning of like, hey, there's this threat and this happened. And is that probably the hot topic now with you guys, or what is that?
It really is. It's the topic. Security has become paramount over everything. I've been with Hamilton for 5 years, and even 5 years ago, security was important. But on the IT side, it was more about service. Hey, is in business efficiency, like how do I make sure these computer servers, all these things work as well as possible all the time so my employees and business can run efficiently? And now the focus is, well, all the information we have inside of these devices is really, really important. And, we need to protect it. So how do we do that? And there's a bunch of different ways to attack that. And so it's really, again, learning and educating on all the different ways that you can protect that information.
Right. Riley and I have had some conversations about our IT and our infrastructure here, or lack thereof. Yeah. If you're listening, don't hack us. But, so we've done some 2-factor authentication and just done some updating and some of our stuff just because of conversations with you. And we've had some other cyber training. We brought in the FBI, cybersecurity, so they could, invest in our members and do some professional development there. And we just brought in CISA.
CISA. Yep.
CISA.
Yep.
Thank you.
And that was sponsored by Hamilton too.
And that was sponsored by Hamilton. So thank you guys. So yeah, we've been trying to do our due diligence as well as a chamber, just to make sure we provide that opportunity for our chamber members. So Hamilton is also doing the security and access control at our new chamber building.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so that's super exciting. So I never thought, when we started down this road of building a building, all the things, right? And it's like we went through a keying meeting and the badge readers and who has access and who doesn't, and they're timed. And then you're looking at the cameras and, you can see who's coming in through each door and all this stuff. And I'm like, we have none of that now, right? I mean, it's old school key, it's all this stuff. And so it's gonna be nice for like employees. I mean, it's gonna be nice for us to be able to rent the facility too and have the community use it. That's what that building's gonna be all about. But also I think it's gonna be so fun to just for employees to be like, badge in and go, and you don't have to worry about, all those different intricacies with keys and, looking like a janitor walking into the chamber.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have the big key ring on your side jingling. Everyone knows Derek's at work because he's jingling as he walks through the hallway. Yeah, it's super nice. It's handy for everyone. And it actually, for lots of businesses, it saves money. There's an investment into getting that infrastructure up. But when people have us do that, the access controls, it's usually because they've had to rekey 4 or 5 times in the last year because someone left or the key got lost and they didn't know why. And every time you rekey, that costs money. But if you have an access control system, you don't have to rekey ever again.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
that's never happened to us.
I'm pretty sure I lost a key in like a gym bag one time for like 2 years, and then all of a sudden I found it. Like, I threw the bag off to the side. I'm like, "What was that? I heard something." Right?
Nice,
but yeah, with this, you shut off the badge or whatever, and then reissue a new badge or whatever. I mean, all those little things. It's pretty awesome. So I want to know. And I don't want you to get like thrown in jail or anything.
Sure.
But I want to know like what's like, have you ever came across a business that you're like something happened IT wise, maybe they got hacked, like maybe they had some ransomware. Like I want a story. I want some juicy stuff.
Here's one that I can share without any knowledge of who it was, but something that people don't think about. And so when people think about security, they always think about it with the computers and servers and whatnot. And a lot of folks are actively doing something or at least thinking about protecting those things. But we do so many things in other technologies, phone systems, like you said, the access controls, camera systems. Those, what a lot of people don't realize now too, is when you're connecting all of these systems to your internet, to your network, is that they're becoming a part of that. So one thing that we saw in this last year was a old phone system, and these folks had this phone system for 20 some years, and they never updated it. They never did anything with it. It just ran. And what people don't realize about a phone system, even an old one, is it's still a computer on the back end, and it can be accessed and things can happen. And if you don't update it, that eventually it can be hacked into. So this business, and it's a company, it's a larger company, and they do business internationally. And so that's why this was able to work for a while. But they started noticing that their international calling was really on the rise, that they're saying, we're being billed a lot for international phone calls, and we're not sure why. And so they called us and said, hey, we know you have experience with these systems. We didn't originally put this system in. We didn't manage it or anything. They said, can you take a look at this and see why? Well, our technicians went in and looked, and they noticed one thing: default password, wrong. Should never have that, right? So the default password is on there. 2, hasn't been updated in 20 years. So what had happened is somebody had, found this system, and they were selling calling cards online to folks. Wow. And what it would do is an 800 number would forward into this business's phone system and then ride their connection out to anywhere in the world to make those long distance calls. So the middleman was selling these phone cards with no investment in it and making all the money from that. And they had no idea. And we don't know how long it went on. It went on for a long time, but it was as simple as changing the password and updating it, and then that killed that access. But they had no idea that was happening on their phone system. Wow. So
I heard a story. I was at a conference and they said that like a guy was giving away free like 3 months of Netflix, and then he would get them signed up, and then the password that they use for Netflix, he was banking on it was a common password.
Right.
And so then he would have all the username and the password and other information that he needed. So then he would use that to get into stuff. And I can't remember that the at the conference, they said the number. It was almost like $1 million that he had, finagled from people.
Wow.
It's just stupid.
We talk about that a lot with security too, the default passwords and things like that. And when people are thinking about security, you have to make sure too, when you use vendors, that they're making sure that they're changing stuff, because another one that we've seen was we did what's called a penetration test for a customer, where we test their network, we test the security and the controls that they have in place to show them the gaps to make sure they can fill those. And what had happened is the access controls that we were talking about, the vendor they used didn't change the password. And so people know these major systems, they have default passwords that they start with. Everything does, and they use the same default password. So our quote unquote hacker that we employ to do that, he was able to take over the access control system for this company that had locations all across the US, and he could have locked everyone out of all the buildings. They would have had to go tear the door off or break a window to get in and get access to these places. So it's just interesting, the things that you'll see are the things that you don't think about.
Yeah. That reminds me of a postcard that we received in the mail.
You've seen that.
I did see that postcard. It was aggressive. That was, to say the least.
Well, that's good stuff.
See it. So I shouldn't swear every time I have to type in my NPPD password. That's like 35 characters and all this stuff.
No.
And I have to change it every like 3 months. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh. What's the easiest way for people to then get a hold of Hamilton? And, if they just are curious about their infrastructure, maybe they do need specific help. They just want like a little analysis run kind of on their business.
Yeah. Our website is great. HamiltonIsBusiness.com, and it lists all the things that we do and kind of gives a brief description of that. And then we really try to keep it casual. If there's something that you're thinking about or you just have questions about, we really, most often you'll probably talk to me. I really try to keep it casual and say, hey, let's talk about it. Let me educate you a little bit on some of the things. Let me hear about what you have going on and see if there's something for you. And we're not super pushy. We're not anything like that. We just want to make sure if there's a need and if we can solve it, we'll solve it. And if not, that's okay too. But really just want to make sure that people are in the best place they can be.
Nice. Awesome. So Hamilton
isbusiness.com.
Okay, .com. All right, perfect. We'll throw that up for our listeners. And thanks for being here today. Thanks for Hamilton's support and engagement. I think a lot of the businesses that are very successful are definitely engaged and involved, and I see Hamilton doing that in a lot of different ways. And so kudos to Hamilton and your guys' team.
Hey, Riley here. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Make a Move podcast. For more content, check us out on all major social media platforms. Until next time, get off your butt and make a move.